It's actually really, really hard to come into the new year, the time of year that is where it's dark and it's cold, and we have this sort of expectation that the calendar says today is day one, so let me choose my goals and my plans and decide on my purpose for this year. It's a really tough time of year to do that. In actual fact, I think our bodies are more synced up with this time of year. When you look around and you see all these little green shoots starting to sprout up, the grass is starting to turn from yellow to green, little flowers are popping up, the sun is up more. Our bodies are connected with the earth. And as much as we live in a world of our intellect and of technological advancement, we can't escape the fact that we are linked with this physical planet, this earth, and there are certain times when our bodies are more synced up to activities that just work better at those times. Like animals might hibernate when it's cold and dark, and then when it becomes springtime, they come out, they come to life, like plants come to life. In the same way, now might be a great time to come to life. So, my message to you is if you set a New Year's plan, a resolution, and it's kind of like fizzled, tanked out, hey, that's actually completely understandable, maybe even common, normal, and now might be a great time to reconnect with that intention. Here's what I would recommend. I recommend that you revisit that thing that you wanted to feel, to achieve, to be, to look back and be curious. Okay, when did it fall off? How did I become distracted? A good question to ask there is, what things got in the way? What actually got in the way? What did I do instead? So sometimes we say, okay, this thing that I wanted to do didn't happen, and we can be very self-critical. But instead of doing that, just ask yourself, what did I do instead? Instead of doing this thing, what did I do instead? How did I spend my time? Just bring some curiosity into it. And it doesn't mean those things that you did are bad, but it maybe is a signal of where now that the energy in your body, in the world, in life is sort of increasing, where we could maybe bring some more activity that is aligned with what you want in. So for me, a little bit of a YouTube addict. If during those dark months I'm watching too much YouTube, now might be the time to switch that off and get into those activities that were really more aligned with my purpose. For you, maybe ask yourself the same thing. What am I doing instead of that thing? How am I soaking up my time instead? Another great thing to do is to just get out of the head and into your physical body a little bit more in a way that helps you to energize. So, people talk about, especially in the therapy world, grounding techniques, and I think oftentimes the impression is that when I'm grounding, I'm stopping anxiety or I'm feeling more calm. I mean, yes, that can be true, but grounding really is about coming out of this spiraling intellectual maze that we have going on between our ears and down into what's happening right now. And a great way to do that is just like this: get outside, feel the sunshine, feel your feet on the ground. If that's unavailable to you, can you do that in a room, in an office where you don't have access to outside? Absolutely. But it does mean finding ways to let the mind be where it is, do what it's doing, say what it's saying, and to feel perhaps your feet, your body, connect with your breath. Coming back to grounding, feeling of right now. And our feet, our body are perfect tools for that. Squishing your toes in your shoes, kicking those shoes off and feeling, even opening through lower parts of the body with some stretching can really help with grounding. Not because there's any kind of magic trick or magical way to ground. It's just whatever kind of practices, which are normally have to do with something physical, something that we can physically feel, are taking us out of the worried, planning, intellectual space of our minds and back down into the here and now. After all, in the here and now is where stuff actually happens. In our mind, we can have tons of plans, tons of ideas that maybe don't translate into action, into an actual outcome. And I think that's a lot because we get stuck in the planning, in the mind, and forget how to link it up with our body. And in fact, the mind can get carried away. So in this time of year when maybe we haven't accomplished whatever goal we set in January, the mind can start telling you all kinds of things about how this means this about you or that about you, or it means this about the plan is not possible, is not achievable, or that becoming fixated on something that worked against you, rather than starting to take a little step back, ground, feel in your body, calm your body, and then allow the natural processes that are inside of you to open up to what options do I have? You know, path number 1 didn't work. Path number 2 was a bit difficult. There will be another path. How do I get there? In a way that is not in opposition to my body and the natural rhythms of my life, but in harmony with it. So long story short, this is the time to renew. This is the time to maybe set those plans. If you didn't set a resolution at the beginning of the year, now is the perfect time. I think the other thing that I would encourage you to do, as you are living in the world as I am, you're going to be experiencing, open your eyes to the things that are growing around you. So start to notice the leaves coming out on the trees, the plants growing. If you grow things in your yard, if you have a garden, starting to become aware of the process of how difficult it is to grow, how it happens in stages. It happens slowly. With the plants that I love to grow, I noticed that the first year it's slow. The second year, sometimes we hardly see any change. And then in the third year, it really seems to flourish. And not saying you have to know all the secrets of plants, gardening, all that stuff, but just to notice as you're on your way to work and just seeing, okay, how have things changed, and just being curious how things can slowly change inside of you as well. The processes of change and growth inside of us mirror what's going on outside. And the earth, the world, if you do have an opportunity to get outside or just to observe from your car, can really teach us a lot. So I'd love to hear from you. What are your plans? Where have you become stuck? Where are you trying to get unstuck? And what works for you to ground, to come back to your body? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I am very honored and blessed if you subscribe to the video, if you share it. And until next time, be well.